is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Sun.
Last night, Alex Rodriguez bid farewell to the Yankees in an emotional night at Yankee Stadium. A-Rod's night began with an RBI double off Chris Archer and ended with Joe Girardi removing him from the game while at third base in the ninth. Today, Evan Longoria and the Rays face a tough task as Masahiro Tanaka goes to the hill in Game 2 from the Bronx. It will be a warm day in the Bronx as we greet you from New York. The Rays road trip continues with the middle game of this series between the Rays and the New York Yankees from Yankee Stadium. Yankees celebrating and recognizing their championship teams of 1996. There is Derek Jeter. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Good to have you back. Rays and the Yankees in the middle game of this series. Yankees won the first game last night. Didn't stop Evan Longoria from having a good night here, and the Bronx seems to bring out the best in Evan.
Bright lights, big city. I mean, Evan Longoria, we know that he likes the big moments, and it seems as if he has a personal vendetta against the New York Yankees, especially when you talk about this building right here and you look at his numbers. 15 home runs. That is tied for second most of any visiting player with David Ortiz, trailing only Jose Bautista, but the 43 runs driven in the most by any visiting player, and he hurts everybody. Starters, relievers, big hits, plays well in this building, and hopefully he can have another couple of big days.
Well, the Rays are 5-5 in the season series against New York. Figure to have their work cut out for them. Masahiro Tanaka on the mound for New York, and the Rays are going to counter with Matt Andriese.
Yeah, and listen, Matt Andriese, you love him as a starter. This is his third stint in the starting rotation. His numbers are outstanding. I mean, he's 5-2, ERA 3.10, that opponent's average. He keeps it really simple. It's a simple formula. Keep the ball in the yard. He's given up 3 home runs in his 58 innings as a starter, and he pitches to contact. Very efficient. Get ahead, let the guy put it in play, let my defense make the outs. And Masahiro Tanaka has been nothing short of dominant against the Tampa Bay Rays. 5 career starts, a perfect record, a very good ERA. He's gone at least 7 innings in 4 of the 5 starts. And how about this stat? 34 innings pitched against the Rays, 29 strikeouts, 2 walks, just 2 walks.
Now there is Tanaka coming on, making its 24th start. The Rays on this road trip with the lone win in Toronto. Rich and Orestes will be coming up next from the studio. Back at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, it has been a day of celebration already for New York, commemorating the 1996 World Series championship team. And here this afternoon, the Rays and the Yankees square off in the middle game of this series. Take a look at the starting lineups presented by your Southern Ford dealers. For the Rays, Logan Forsythe will lead it off. He'll be at second base, and Kevin Kiermaier back in the lineup, hitting second and playing center. Evan Longoria hits third. Brad Miller is in there at first base hitting cleanup in front of Matt Duffy at shortstop. Corey Dickerson is the designated hitter. Mikey Montook is in right field. Nick Franklin will hit eighth and play left field. And the catcher is Luke Maile.
And the model of consistency takes the mound today for the New York Yankees. Masahiro Tanaka making his 24th start of the season, an 8-4 record, ERA 3.32. Coming off a very strong start against the Cleveland Indians. He went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, 8 strikeouts, and picking up that 8th win. And in 15 of his 23 starts, he has given up 2 earned runs or fewer. Let's take a quick look at that New York Yankee defense and see how it's going to line up here this afternoon. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield left to right, we have Aaron Hicks, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Aaron Judge. Across the infield, third to first, Chase Headley, Didi Gregorius, Starlin Castro, and Tyler Austin, with Austin Romine behind the plate.
It'll be interesting to see how this weather plays with these 2 starting pitchers. 95 degrees. Weatherman says the feel-like temperature 108, but 95 is what the Mercury tells us. And we're all set. First pitch to Logan Forsythe, and that's in there for a strike. Logan hitting .281 with 13 home runs. Had a run batted in last night's game with a sacrifice fly. And the ground ball to short. Gregorius up with it. That's the way this one starts. 6-3 on the play. 1 away.
Well, the one thing that you're going to see from Tanaka is a little bit of everything. I mean, he's going to come at you. He'll cut it. Regular fastball, cut it. Slider, curveball, split. You see a little bit of everything from this guy, and it's part of what makes him so successful. He doesn't overpower you, but he gives you so much to think about, and he's willing to throw all these pitches in any count. That's where the difficulty lies.
Well, Kevin Kiermaier up here, returning to the lineup. A bit under the weather last night, the word. Kiermaier takes a strike. He is 3 for 5 against Tanaka. When you look up and down the Rays lineup, he's had more success than anybody else. 3 for 5 with a home run. Now 1-1.
Well, Tanaka has held the Rays collectively to a 192 average in 5 starts. So I would say, yeah, 3 out of 5, 600. Good thing Kiermaier's in the lineup.
It's popped up in from third. Headley shading his eyes with not only the glasses but his glove. And Kiermaier pops out to the New York third baseman. 2 up, 2 down against Tanaka. And here's Evan Longoria. Well, we mentioned at the outset in the open the success Evan has had here in New York. And as we've stated so frequently, he responds to the big stage, and this is the big stage. This is a strike. Evan drove in a couple of runs last night, one with the solo homer in the first, his 26th home run of the year. He's tied for 8th in the American League in home runs. 0-2 the count.
Well, big numbers overall against the Yankees, as we touched in the open. Great power and production numbers here in this building.
43 runs batted in for him in the new Yankee Stadium. That's the most by a visiting player. sends this one deep to right. Judge back to the track in front of the wall to run it down. Made the catch and then made contact with the right field wall. Bottom of the first coming up, no score. New York coming in to hit. Quick look at their starting lineup. Presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off. He'll be followed by Aaron Hicks, and Chase Headley hits third. Didi Gregorius in the cleanup spot in front of Starlin Castro, the second baseman. The DH is Gary Sanchez. Tyler Austin at first. Aaron Judge in right hits eighth, and Austin Romine does the catching, batting ninth.
Well, Matt Andriese takes the mound this afternoon for the Tampa Bay Rays, making his 11th start of the season. Done a nice job really all around as a starter and coming out of the bullpen. But today, maybe the first start where he's going to be cut loose, building up that pitch count the last couple of starts. Today, he should be getting close, very close to his top end number.
Last time out, they were shooting for an 80-pitch limit. He made 76 pitches. Here's a check swing and a soft liner down to third, grabbed by Evan Longoria. So Jacoby Ellsbury is out of there, one away.
That would have been a pretty cruddy way to start the afternoon. A little check swing double, but nice play by Evan Longoria. And let's look at the rest of that Rays defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, Nick Franklin, Kevin Kiermaier, and Mikey Matuk. Across the infield, third to first, of course, Longoria, then Matt Duffy, then Logan Forsythe, Brad Miller, and Luke Maile behind the plate.
There's Matt Duffy, now playing shortstop after spending his big league time at third. Aaron Hicks up here, and he takes the pitch for a strike. Line drive, that's off the mid of Miller. Forsythe with a pickup and a wide throw to first, backed up by Maile. And out of that, Hicks is aboard.
Well, Brad Miller trying to make that backhanded stab and off the glove. Now you got to scramble back to the bag. Logan's got a chance to get him, and he kind of sideswipes that ball, kind of stayed arm side. You watch him lower the elbow right here as he tries to flip this quick, and that ball right there just sails on him away from Miller, and Hicks is aboard.
Well, it goes as a hit for Hicks. Chase Headley. There's a strike call to Headley. A .255 average, 10 home runs. Runner breaks. The pitch is a ball, and the throw not in time. A stolen base for Hicks. His first of the year.
Well, this is something that we've talked about with the development of Matt Andriese, how this is an area that he's going to have to really target and work on, is the running game. Opposing base stealers 11 out of 11, and you see how easy that swipe there was for Hicks. Wasn't even close.
And the first thing you notice, he does out of the stretch take a long time delivering the pitch.
A long time coming set, and then you're right, a long delivery. That's just one area that Matt will have to touch up on the rest of this season, and obviously getting ready for spring training next year.
Oh, man in scoring position, and Headley fouls it out of play. 1-2.
You start to work on, little things like a slide step, which is always nice to have two different deliveries. You want to go high leg kick, and then other times slide step, whether you're trying to screw up the timing of the hitter or control the running game with a guy that wants to steal.
All part of the development process. He's been so good for the Rays and the varied roles they've used him. And with the Matt Moore deal, he's gone back into the rotation where he wants to be, feels and believes that's where he belongs.
Well, the numbers really back that up. As a starter, 5-2 with an ERA just over 3.
A 2-2 count on Headley.
And I like his style too. He has done a nice job of limiting home runs as a starter. He does a nice job of pitching to contact, using his defense, being efficient, and by doing that, he's a guy that can allow you to let him pitch into the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, because he's right about 15 pitches per.
Boy, there's a great lesson for starting pitchers in that. Stay in games late. There's a cut and a miss. So that takes care of Headley. 2 gone. The longer you can stay in the game, number one, means that in terms of score, you're probably going to be in the game.
Yeah.
You're in it that way, and then you're in it physically. The deeper you can work, the greater chance you have to sticking around long enough to pick up a win.
That's right. I'll never forget, getting a chance to play with Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, and those guys used to talk all the time about if you as a starting pitcher go out there and come out of a game where you're leaving 9 to 12 outs to your bullpen, don't ever expect to win. Don't ever expect to be a winner. That's too many outs for the bullpen.
Yeah, technically speaking, 5 innings qualifies you for a win.
Right.
But in reality, it really doesn't qualify you for a win.
No. And even you go 6 innings. That's nice. You'd like to get into that 7th and try to get through at least 7. And take it from there. Especially with the pitch counts, like they are. Nowadays, the way that they're used and everything else. But if you're allowing the bullpen that many outs, don't cry when you don't get wins. It's not going to happen.
Popped up foul that will carry out a play.
Oh, and by the way, the other part of that is you're killing your bullpen. It's not helping the team long term. So there's something to be said for, pitching to contact. Go for the strikeout when you need the strikeout. And some guys are going to strike out guys just as a byproduct of their stuff. But try to do it. Can I go out there in 3 pitches and get an out here? That's what Matt Andriese does.
0-2 the count on Didi Gregorius. Fly ball into left. Franklin sets up and makes the catch. Base hit, a steal, and a man left. We go to the 2nd inning, no score. Padres and the Yankees, no score. $2 kid tickets Tuesday, presented by Morgan Auto Group. Back Tuesday, August 16th, when the Rays take on the Padres. All kids 14 and under get $2 tickets with the purchase of a full price paid adult ticket. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit raysbaseball.com/specials. Rays will be home before you know it. This game against the Yankees, day game tomorrow, then home against the Padres, the Rangers, and the Red Sox. Here's Brad Miller. Going after the first pitch, skies it to left. Hicks with his speed coming on and makes the catch. He circled back, and then as he got a better read on that one, had to turn on the speed a little bit to grab it toward the line. And that's going to bring up Matt Duffy, our Toyota inside look. 25-year-old infielder acquired in the Matt Moore deal. And in his seasons with the Giants, a .281 average. And on that championship team 2 years ago, he played third base for the Giants. Originally a shortstop, and the pitch to him, he takes down. I don't know if you had a chance to hear the sit down Todd Callis did with Matt Duffy during the pregame, but he handled himself really well. He's an impressive young man. There's a strike, and what struck me the most, he seemed to have great baseball acumen and handle himself the way you'd like to see a baseball player handle himself. And I thought he had some good insights into what he's done, what he'd like to do, how he'd like to fit in with his new teammates. And I thought it was really an encouraging exchange there. So we'll see how it all works out, but he does seem to have a good idea.
Well, he's going to get every opportunity being out there at shortstop. Ray's hoping that he is the long-term answer. See, that's a nice play right there, charging that ball, making the transfer from the glove. And then how about this? Yeah, go ahead and drop one in there. Take him any way you can get him.
And he is out on strikes.
What's the danger with Tanaka? You get yourself to 2 strikes. He's not a big strikeout guy, but certainly the split, a nasty pitch, late action. Look at that. They just dart right underneath the swing there of Matt Duffy. Picks up the second out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you can do at all with that pitch.
Not put yourself in a position to have to deal with it is about the only thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's Corey Dickerson. It's a little wide right there. 1 ball, no strikes. Right now, Tanaka starting to push 150 innings on the year. In that time, he's given up 136 hits and 121 strikeouts, and he just doesn't walk many people.
No.
27 walks all year coming into this game.
Yeah, and 27 on the season, and in his 5+ starts now against the Rays, he's walked exactly 2 in 35 2/3 innings. That's pretty incredible.
It's a little tap, you know, and part of that is his control. The other part is what you said. You're trying to stay away from that 2-strike count with him, so they will engage him early.
Yeah, you look at actually both of these pitchers. You know, you look at even at Matt Andries's numbers with 2 outs in an inning, 2 strikes.
They're really impressive.
Yeah, both of them they close the deal.
Dickerson out on strikes. A 1-2-3 second. Through an inning and a half, no score. Bronx, the Rays and the Yankees move on to the bottom of the second. Rays have Matt Andriese on the hill. He'll face Starlin Castro, the second baseman, to lead it off. Then Sanchez and Austin.
Starlin Castro, a one-man wrecking crew last night for the Yankees.
Was he not? I'll tell you. In the middle of this order. Fouls it back. Castro with 4 runs batted in last night. Hit a 2-run home run in the 6th. Drove in 2 in the 4th with a base hit.
And you know what was frustrating about last night was not that it was just a loss, but it was the way, you know what I mean, the way that everything happened. You think about the Rays took an early lead. Of course, Alex Rodriguez had the big RBI to tie it immediately up, and then with the score tied at 3, a hanging slider right here.
Well, that said it all right there. Wave and a miss. Castro, the first out here in the bottom of the second. Second strikeout for Andriese. Yeah, the Yankees just kept coming back, and even when the Rays went back to tie,
yeah,
then that home run broke that tie.
Yeah. No, you had the lead, you gave it back. You take the lead again, you give it back and then some. Then you fight back, tie, and then they come right back and snatch it from you again. And then all of a sudden you get to the back end of this Yankee bullpen. Even without Miller, even without Chapman, they still have been locked down, and they finished you off.
Gary Sanchez, the DH, and he takes the first pitch strike. Andriese hitting out ahead of these hitters. It's a ball and a strike.
What was the feel like temperature again?
108.
108.
Yeah, 95 the thermometer and 108 feel like.
And I'm still enjoying a nice thermos full of hot black coffee, and it's really good.
Helps even you out.
It does.
I mean, maybe.
No.
It doesn't help that. No.
Not at all.
You know where we were going?
I know exactly where you were going.
Okay.
It's a good thought, though.
Thought there could be some scientific principle at work here. This one chopped back over the mound, charged by Forsythe. Nice play on the bare hand and throw, and they get Sanchez. Forsythe to Miller.
That was the only way that play could be made, and that is the tough part. Being an infielder and charging a ball like this, in your mind you're saying, who's running? Do I have an opportunity to go to the glove and then transfer, or do I have to go bare hand? And Logan Forsythe correctly figures, listen, the only chance I have is bare hand, and he made a heck of a play.
Well, Tyler Austin, who's at first base today, making his major league debut. He began the year at Double-A and most recently at the Triple-A level. The pitch is a strike. 7 of 7 in the first pitch strike department for Matt Andriese.
Go right back to the efficiency. That's the goal. I mean, you're not going to do that every single time, but so far Matt Andriese has been perfect. That gives him the jump.
0-2.
Then you can do things like that, and we know Matt Andriese has a very good changeup, and he will give you different looks with that changeup. It'll cut, it'll sink. Sometimes it looks like a split, head straight down. It's almost too many strikes.
How about that?
Yeah. That's filling the zone up and then some.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Austin out of the 2010 draft for New York. Still a 2-2 count. Andrees gave up a hit in the first inning. This one's skied deep to right. Matuk will go back, and that one's going to get out. Just over the wall, down that right field line. It's 314 down there, and he got it just over the wall and out of here. Austin making his major league debut has just hit one out.
And they already got the ball back for him. How about that to a start? Taking full advantage of the home ballpark.
Well, in his first big league plate appearance, Tyler Austin. And the pitch to Aaron Judge is a strike. And I'll tell you the story on him. When he was 17 years old, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer and has overcome that. And here we are in New York. And on his first plate appearance in the big leagues, he hits it out.
I mean, dropped it right over that 314 side, first, second row. It looked like it maybe had been a cutter moving away from him. Boy, what a start.
Now Aaron Judge, the count of a ball and 2 strikes. It's only the 6th home run given up by Andrees in 21 games. This is 11th start. Shot to center field. Kiermaier's going to go back, looks up, and that one is out of here. And Aaron Judge, making his major league debut, has hit it out on a 1-2 count.
Has that ever been done before?
This is unbelievable.
The 2 players added to the roster today. Back to back, no less.
Austin went out to right. Aaron Judge hits one out to dead center. So Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge back to back, making their major league debuts, have both hit home runs. There's a foul ball back. The Yankee fans here are now asking, A-Rod who?
That's remarkable.
It
what
is
just
remarkable.
happened.
Yep.
I mean, how many guys make their major league debut same day, hitting back to back, and do that? I mean, but like I said, that was the big. You know, they officially designate Alex Rodriguez and give him his unconditional release. These are the 2 guys they add to the roster. Fire them right in the lineup, and you get that.
1-2. Well, in the span of 5 pitches, back-to-back home runs. He just hit his first big league home run in his first plate appearance. Tyler Austin, and before he knew it, he was watching Aaron Judge do the same thing. Romine is out of there. That retires the side, but not before the 2 youngsters in the New York lineup, Austin and Judge, hit back-to-back home runs in their first major league at-bats. Out of the third, and as we look at Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge, that's the thing about this game. In some ways, there's just no possible way to figure it. And we've talked about Andriese out there, and both these pitchers, Tanaka and Andriese, they can get ahead of you, and they don't give a lot. If they do, there's a strike to Mikey Montauk. And the numbers that you pointed out before, BA, on Andriese, 2 outs in an inning, forget about it. Two strikes on a hitter, forget about it. Well, how about if you got 2 outs and 2 strikes on 2 hitters who are making their major league debuts, first plate appearance, and they hit home runs? The odds against that are amazing.
And like I said, it was one of the things we pointed out, you know, coming in as a starter. He'd given up 3 homers in 58 innings. That's outstanding as a starting pitcher. So he gives up the 2 to the guys making the major league debut in Judge and Austin. But, you know, with 2 outs in an inning, batting average against Matt Andriese, 165. With 2 strikes on a hitter, batting average against Matt Andriese, 135. So 2 outs, 2 strikes, doesn't give up home runs. And what's he do?
And despite all that, this.
Yeah. Down the line, okay, a Yankee Stadium home run, that's fine. This one's gone anyway.
Wow.
I mean, you never know what you will see in a Major League Baseball game. You just never know.
Nick Franklin taking ball 1.
And by the way, Aaron Judge goes about, what, 6'7", 270? You got to be a defensive end.
Yeah.
I mean, put pads on him and turn him loose on 3rd down. I'll take my chances with that. I mean, look at that. That's not a baseball. That's not baseball. 6'7", 275 is not baseball.
Yeah, I read one of the scouting reports. They said he had scary power. High fly. Hicks in left. Settles under this one and makes the catch. But they noted he had long arms, which made his swing long, and that could be a problem. We also see there's a guy 6'7". I would hope that he might have long arms.
I think that would help more as a rush end. I mean, long arm, you get engaged first, you control the action.
Yeah.
The one thing that they did say, though, is that this season, down in the minor leagues, that he really started to kind of define his strike zone, do a better job of not chasing. Now, listen, he's going to be a guy that's going to run up some strikeout numbers just by the simple fact of his size.
Yes.
His strike zone is big. There are going to be holes. Now, as he works to close those holes up and not leave the strike zone, that's what he really made a lot of progress with during the course of this season, and that's why he's here now.
Yeah, the reports I saw said with 2 strikes, he'll hit the ball the other way. Didn't say anything about hitting it to center. No. He just takes care of that himself.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is, you read some of these scouting reports from some of the Yankee, the minor league hitting coordinators, all these guys that are talking about him. And they say that he really, his mindset is to drive the ball with authority in the middle of the field. And if the pitch is away, it's naturally going to go to right, and he's got quick enough hands to get to the ball in. Well, drive the ball with authority to the middle of the field.
Well,
seemed
we've
to work
seen
just
that.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe that's why he wears 99, because he knows deep down inside he's a football player.
The other part of that, and you mentioned it, I think, through the first 17 pitches, Matt had 14 strikes, and you said at the time, maybe too many strikes. Well, there could be something to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a fine line. Too few strikes, guys keyhole you, you don't get borderline calls, and you're going to get hit around. But if you're nothing but in the zone, that can be bad too. You want to have a nice mix of in the zone and chase, and that's why you really have to go in and look at how those strikes came to be. If there's that many strikes because you're throwing strike 1 in the zone and then they're chasing the next couple, okay, well then those are good lots of strikes. If it's a lot of strikes because you're in the zone all the time, that can sometimes work against you.
Bailey pops it into short right. Aaron Judge makes the catch. 1, 2, 3, go the Rays. Bottom half of inning 3 coming, 2-0. Inning 3 in New York, middle game of the series. Yankees celebrating their 1996 championship team here and pregame ceremonies today. '92-70, emerging as the AL East champs and their first World Series championship since 1978, and it all began for Derek Jeter as the American League Rookie of the Year. Derek Jeter here, part of the ceremonies. Doc Gooden here as well. Darryl Strawberry, the whole crew.
Some star power.
Well, it will be the top of the order now. Jacoby Ellsbury. And there's a first pitch strike to him. Chop right side. Forsythe handles that one. So 2 pitches here and 1 gone in the 3rd. Aaron Hicks had a base hit, the infield hit in the 1st. And another first pitch strike on the foul ball. 11 of 11 for Andriese on first pitch strikes.
I mean, you'll take that all day long and twice on Sunday. That puts the count in your favor, and now you can go work them like the scouting report says. And now immediately up 0-2. You know, this is one of the things that Matt Andriese does very well, is he just is in attack mode all the time. You got to love his aggression. Just want to be smart here. Once you get up 0-2, you're in control, and you've got a young hitter at the plate. He will expand the zone. So, you know, this pitch right here, try to get him to expand. Borderline and just off. See if he'll chase after it.
And he doesn't chase that one, a little high.
Borderline or just off, not hit the bull. Thought he was throwing at us.
Yeah. He's out on strikes, reaching for that one.
I'll tell you what he did do, and it was probably too high of a pitch, but you change a hitter's eye level. You know, you get him to track that ball high, and then you immediately follow that up with off speed below the zone. And that was a nice adjustment that made there by Andriese to get the strikeout. Look at that ball, how long it stays in the zone. That's that very, very good changeup that he has. And that one, very effective.
Here's Chase Headley, and he leaves that pitch up and out of the zone, so he misses on the first pitch for the first time.
You know, Orel Hershiser used to do that. He used to he'd want to take the ball out of play and ask for a new ball while he was on the mound and while the hitter was by the batter's box. And he would deliberately toss that ball in there to the catcher instead of rolling it off to the side, and he'd throw it high and slow in hopes that the hitter would track it. And then that would set up his next pitch.
Yep.
You would see all the time, he would lob that in there and hitters would just put their head down. They didn't want any part of that. But that was his way. And, you know, a lot of times if you ask for a new ball now, you just roll it to a dugout.
Yeah.
He'd lob it right in there to a catcher to see hope that a young hitter would track that ball with his eyes, and now he's set up for something else.
Anything, any way you can somehow garner a little edge.
Yeah, within the rules of the game.
And sometimes out of the rules.
There's been a lot of that.
A little tapper, first base side, going to be foul. And the count holds at 1-2.
You never know when little Bardol and Vagisil come into play.
Little Emery board.
It's amazing. They're like criminals. You get guys out in the bullpen, and they're trying to come up with different ways to doctor a baseball. It's criminal thinking, and they're really good at it. Come up with some pretty unique ways to get that ball to do what you want.
Headley out on strikes. He's not sure if that was completely a third strike or not. 2-0 New York.
1996 championship. Wade Boggs, part of that 96 championship team, played with the Rays for 98 and 99. We caught up with him before the game about celebrating afterwards.
I have no idea. To this day, I have no idea how I did this. I'm deathly afraid of horses. And come to find out, I'm in center field on the back of a police horse and riding around, and I feel bad for the police officer. He got suspended for 10 days, but it was worth the ride.
Wade recalled that season, guys, and said when they were down 2-0 heading to Atlanta, he gathered the guys in the back of the plane and said, hey, I've been there before. Back when I was with the Red Sox against the Mets, going back home up 2-0, this isn't over. He said, if we can bring this series back to New York, we're going to win it. Sure enough, he was prophetic. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, a 10-day suspension for the police officer. And I'm not sure the ride was good for him. It was good for Wade, but I'm not sure about the officer.
There were two things wrong with what Wade said there. First of all was, I feel bad for the officer. He was suspended for 10 days, but it was worth. No, see, only the officer can say whether or not it was worth it. Not
that
you.
Is so good.
You
I love
get
that.
in trouble. That's one. But number two, and he slipped it in at the very beginning. It was the great line of, and come to find out, I'm on the back of a police, what do you call it? A police horse out in center field. Come to find out.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Did you remember climbing up on the back of this thing?
Well, that's why he's one of our favorite guys. Little ground ball, and Castro fires that ball to first. He's introducing Tyler Austin to the infield there with that line drive right out of the end of his arm.
It would be like me saying, and so Dwayne, so I hear this voice, and come to find out, I'm sleeping in the hallway, and I'm wondering how I got there. It would be something like that. That would work.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I don't remember how I got there.
Well, so the story goes. Here's Kevin Kiermaier. And a bunt. He's going to challenge Headley, and the throw's not going to be in time. And boy, if he perfects that, he could be doing that all day long. He gets a bunt for the first hit. Some of the fans are booing him now because Tanaka had retired the first 10 men to face him.
Yeah, a hit's a hit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what, if he can perfect this, you tell me a third baseman, Headley couldn't have done that any better, and it's not even close. They're going to have to play him 2/3 of the way down, which is going to open up anything that he can hit to the left side.
Yeah, that's right. And that can be such a big part of his game. Now Evan Longoria shoots one through the right side. Kiermaier's going to go to third. The throw will not be in time. It's first and third. Kiermaier turned on the afterburners there, and the Rays have something cooking with one out in the fourth.
Well, Evan Longoria did not get greedy. Tanaka's going to pitch him away. He's got an open hole to deal with. That's a cutter, and so he just takes it the other way. And right here, Kevin Kiermaier reads, and now he's gone. Going to challenge the arm. And by the way, Judge has a good arm. That ball got there quick, but Kevin Kiermaier a little faster than that.
First and third for Brad Miller. Rays down by a couple, and they have their first threat of the day. Pitch is down. You're talking about Kiermaier perfecting the bunt, and if he does that and they start to play him closer, it opens a whole other possibility for him to hit the ball that way past the third baseman.
Yep.
And in that case, you're looking at extra bases.
Third baseman is almost defenseless as close as they're going to have to play him if they're going to try to take the bunt away. Not even to say him pulling the bunt with him. Pull the bunt, get it by the pitcher, there's no chance to throw him out. There's a lot of possibilities there for Kiermaier in that spot in the order, and it'll be interesting to watch through the rest of the season just how proficient he gets at that.
There's a well-hit ball the other way, deep to left, and it is gone. Home run for Brad Miller. A 3-run shot the other way, and the Rays grab the lead. Miller's 21st home run. Started on the bunt single by Kiermaier. Longoria's opposite field single, and a 3-run opposite field home run for Brad Miller.
Tanaka has been down all day with his stuff. Last couple of pitches to Brad Miller were elevated, and that's what's going to give you a chance. That ball stays up and away, and Brad Miller, he's already proven the fact that he's strong enough, hits the ball hard enough to go out the other way, and he does just that.
Now it's Matt Duffy. Ground ball, and there's a base hit into right field out of the reach of Austin. Matt Duffy swinging on the first pitch has an opposite field home run. So the bunt and then 3 straight opposite field hits. Matt Duffy aboard for the DH Corey Dickerson. Tanaka 3 perfect innings, and then the first out in the 4th before the Rays have put together a line of 4 hits and 3 runs have scored. Dickerson bouncing one foul on the first pitch. The Rays have never beaten Tanaka. He has 3 wins and 5 starts, 2 no decisions against them, and 3 runs in any one of those outings. As many as they've gotten, they have 3 right here in the 4th. Dickerson goes the other way, out of play. A 2-strike count.
It's so important on a day like today to keep the ball down. For obviously what happens in this ballpark out in right field, and we saw the ball from Brad Miller to left, plays a little bit bigger over there, but the carry on Judges to center field, although that ball was crushed. That's something that both of these guys have been pretty good at too, is getting the ground ball. Pretty good ground ball rates for both of them. But the couple of pitches here elevated by Tanaka. Brad Miller takes one out the other way. Even that pitch to Duffy was up a little bit that he shot into right field.
Dickerson out on strikes. It's the 2nd out of the inning.
Same way he got him in the first at bat. Get to 2 strikes. All of a sudden, here comes the split, and you get the chase.
Two outs. Here's Mikey Matuk.
I blame that replay on myself.
You do?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Just jumped the gun a little bit.
Force the issue?
Force the issue.
Yep.
Didn't need to. You gotta let the game come to you sometimes.
You've never forced the issue before. I'm surprised.
Today, maybe.
1 strike the count on the Rays right fielder. And no pitch. Time called.
Again.
Tanaka went ahead and made the delivery, and apparently Vic Carapazza getting a little verbiage from the New York dugout there. And we continue to see lots and lots of those late timeout calls.
Dwayne, we have a consecutive game streak going of seeing that. We need to start keeping track of that because we can set a record. Go to somewhere in the mid-50s.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen as many as we have this year.
I know. And they've been coming in bunches here recently. I think there was something the other day where Chris Coughlin was asking for time and just assumed and stepped out, and they didn't give it to him. And he got right back in the box and ended up hitting a two-run double or a two-run single. Pulled the old Bo Jackson.
Two strikes now to Montook. And that retires the side. Second time Montook has struck out, but the Rays come up with 3. Kiermaier's bunt single, base hit by Longoria, and the opposite field home run by first baseman Brad Miller. The Rays take a 3-2 lead. Home run in the top half of the 4th to take a 3-2 lead. Brad Miller connecting. It's been 8 days since he'd hit a home run, so it was about time.
And just to pound the point home, let's make it opposite field.
Yes.
A little bit more difficult.
Here's Gregorius, D.D. Gregorius leading off the bottom of the 4th. Hitting clean up. 1 ball, no strikes. Gregorius had a double and a walk in the game last night. On the inside corner, it's 1-1.
The all-important shutdown inning here for Matt Andriese. Down 2-0 in one swing of the bat. The team hands you a lead of 3-2, and you like nothing more than a 0 here. Let the offense go back to work.
2-1. 5 strikeouts for Andriese. Allowed a couple of runs, 3 hits. And the pop-up. Andriese vacates the middle of the infield, and that's caught by Duffy. Matt Duffy, the shortstop, handles that pop-up. Well, hardly any deep counts at all. You know that first home run Austin hit came on a 2-2 pitch on the 6th pitch of that at bat. And that's about as deep as he's gone in one at bat. And Tanaka had a 7-pitch at bat against Luke Maile and got him on a fly ball to right. So neither of these pitchers are going too deep into counts. They get to 2 strikes and hitters are on their own.
Yeah, absolutely as advertised. That's what we thought coming in. Both of their numbers bear that out.
Shot to center field by Castro all the way to the wall, and that ball is gone. Kiermaier made a leaping attempt, winds up on his back out there. And another home run to center. 3 solo home runs for New York, and the game is tied.
You know, and I think if Kevin Kiermaier doesn't get turned around, he has a better chance at getting to this ball. I mean, regardless, it was going to be an unbelievable play. This ball well struck, very similar to the home run that Castro hit last night off of Chris Archer. But Kevin Kiermaier got turned around a couple of times and then ends up just a little bit short in trying to make up that ground late.
See him trying to grab that one and bring it back, but Castro hits his 14th home run, and the game is tied 3-3.
That matches Castro's career high in home runs, and he has been hot lately with the extra base hit.
Sanchez, a strike on him. Ground ball short. Duffy in front of it, and he throws a strike to first. 2 gone. So the bases are empty, and Tyler Austin comes to the plate. He's part of the tandem in the Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Chris Coors Light. Back-to-back home runs in the 2nd inning. First time ever in the major leagues that 2 players have been back-to-back home runs, each in their first career plate appearance. So we've seen something today that has never happened before in the history of Major League Baseball. And Austin takes a strike.
Well, Austin got it started right down the line. He drops one right over the 314 sign, and then, oh boy, dead center. That was loud. You knew it. You know, we wondered at the time. It seemed to be so amazing that you thought there was maybe a chance that that was the case, but how about that? This game's been played for a long time by many teams every single day, 6 months a year, and that's never happened.
Two strikes the count on Austin. And he is out on strikes this time to retire the side. A run on the home run through 4. We're tied at 3. On brought to you by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer, celebrating 75 summers of living 4x4ever. By Hawaii's Kona Brewing Company. By Furman, the Bay Area's first name in Chevrolet. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. It will be Nick Franklin leading off the 5th inning. Fouling the first pitch out of play. Strike one. Franklin, Maile, and then Forsythe. Tanaka and Andriese hooked up in this one. Rays have 3 runs, 4 hits. The Yankees have 3 runs, 4 hits. A 2-strike count on Franklin. And with the count 2 strikes, Headley now goes to the right side of the infield. Franklin strikes out, making that defensive move academic.
They could have been flagged for that too, because they had 2 guys motioning at once.
So 1 away here in the 5th inning. Luke Maile about to step in. Ground ball third, backhanded by Headley. He has time and makes the throw. 2 gone. The Rays' new ballpark will be your new ballpark. Join us at ballparkreimagined.com to see our vision and share your ideas. What do you imagine? Ballparkreimagined.com.
I'll tell you what I imagine. The lazy river.
You want the lazy river?
I want the lazy river.
Yep. Well, if you want it,
now you know
there's a good chance it could be in there.
No, it wouldn't be me. It would be the other guy. But that's also the part that's scary for me, because the other guy that was thinking along those lines was Todd Callis. I don't want to share the same brain with Todd Callis as much as I love the guy. So the fact that we were thinking of the same thing at almost the same time is a little creepy.
Wow.
But that's why it would get done.
Yeah.
Because of Todd Callis.
Mm-hmm. There you go. The lazy river.
And you know,
you could put all kinds of things in a new ballpark. You know, just and just let your mind wander.
Endless.
Yes.
Endless possibilities.
2-0 pitch. Forsythe pops it up right side. Austin tracking it from first base, and in foul territory makes the call and the catch. 1-2-3, bottom of the 5th inning coming, tied at 3. Moving on to the bottom of the 5th inning from Yankee Stadium. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, the coverage last night of Alex Rodriguez and his final appearance here for the Yankees. Career highlights, 3-time AL MVP, 696 home runs, and 14 All-Star selections. Aaron Judge takes the ball. Rodriguez had to hit his first time up last night before departing in the 9th. Two and one.
Look at those cluster of pitches by Matt Andriese, trying to stay far away from that power. Not only away, but down and away, because up and away, he could still take you out to right field, right center. See if he stays out there.
So the count is full, and this is the first 3-ball count Andriese has had on a hitter.
But you'd have to be sure that you could get the call. But if you threw a fastball in right here, not a chance in the world. Not a chance in the world. But those are tough. You've got to know the umpire is going to call that pitch for you.
In fact, this is the first 3-ball count in the entire game, and a base hit through the hole. So Judge makes the turn. Leadoff single in the 5th. Speaking of leading off, let's check in with Todd Callis. Todd?
Gwen, you know what this day needs? A scarf. This is the giveaway item on a Saturday coming up at Tropicana Field against the Texas Rangers. You got your TB logo there. This is courtesy of Geico. All fans will get this scarf. It is about as warm a day as possible here at Yankee Stadium, and I'm going to maybe give this to the owner, Stu Sternberg, who is not sitting with his family in some cushy air-conditioned suite. He's out here with all the fans. Guys, back to you.
The infinity scarf.
It never ends. Round and around it goes.
Yep.
Very stylish.
Yeah, there you go.
You're on camera, by the way.
Yeah, just let him know.
Good morning, Todd.
Yeah, look at that. He's, you know, a demonstration model. It's pretty good.
He had
got the moves.
That was the move that John Candy used in planes,
now
trains,
remember,
and automobiles.
you're comparing the owner of the club to John Candy now.
When he rolled the Casio up his forearm, he was trying to make it appear to be a better watch. Yeah, it was really good, and that was the move.
There you go. Well, he's seen that movie.
Neil. Can't remember his last name. Neil Page. Maybe that was Steve Martin. I don't know. But that movie's a classic. A must-watch every holiday season.
Runner at first, nobody out. 1-0 the count to Austin Romine. Runner takes off. The pitch skied to center. Kiermaier will have room this time and makes the catch in front of the track. Judge retreats to first on the fly ball to center by Austin Romine.
By the way,
yes,
I completely zooed that. Neil Page was Steve Martin. Del Griffith.
I got you. Okay.
Del Griffith. Yeah.
You know, you're like the movie critic.
Well, no. There's
a wealth of info.
There's a handful of movies. A handful. But Del Griffith, one of the greatest characters of all time. I loved his reading material. Good choice of books.
Yeah, just don't look him up. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. Line drive into right center. There's a base hit. Judge heads to third. It will be first and third. One out.
And for a split second, Kevin Kiermaier thought about it. We saw him make that play in that last series at Tropicana Field. The way he broke to the baseball, cleared the hips, threw back to third to throw a runner out. And he's thinking the same thing here. Very similar hit here by Ellsbury. He gets to it, thinks about it, and thinks better. Aaron Judge had come around second base with a full head of steam, and there was probably no way he was going to get him.
So it's first and third. One gone. A conference on the mound. Carapazza out there to move that along. Well, the game tied at 3. Yankees threaten in the bottom of the 5th. Aaron Hicks, who's 1 for 2 today, about to step in. Hicks singled back in the first. That was the ball that was deflected off the first baseman's mitt of Brad Miller. The pitch, a high shot deep into right, and that ball is gone. Hicks jumps on the first pitch and belts a 3-run home run. That's his 6th home run. Hicks hit one last night in the 7th inning and connects in the 5th inning today.
You know, Dwayne, the one point that we've made is when you throw so many strikes early, the one thing it does is it forces a team into swing mode. And that's good. You want them in swing mode, provided you're making quality pitches. This right here is a pitch that just kind of hangs middle of the plate, middle in, right at the belt. And so you got a team that's ready to swing the bat anyway. And then you get one of those pitches that you'd love to have back the moment it leaves your hand. And unfortunately, this is the result.
Headley fouls it back. 3 runs home with 1 out in the 5th. Headley twice has struck out. One and one now. Chopper foul. Austin and Judge hit back-to-back home runs in the 2nd inning. Starlin Castro hit a home run in the 4th, and now Hicks a 3-run home run in the 5th. 2-2. Coming into this game, Andriese had given up 5 home runs in just over 80 innings. He's given up 4 home runs in under 5 innings in this game.
He'd only given up 3 as a starter in all of his starts, covering 58 innings. And it's eclipsed that here this afternoon. Well, there have been a couple of pitches that he'd like to have back. One, you know, a Yankee Stadium special right down the line.
And he strikes out Headley for the 3rd time, picking up his 7th strikeout of the afternoon.
Chase Headley, I don't know if I've ever seen that. I've seen that before with 3 outs in an inning. But second out of the inning, and Chase Headley just goes ahead and gets undressed here at home plate. That's kind of the end of the inning kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They just lost track.
That's a hot afternoon.
And that is the 3rd strikeout already. Not real happy with a lot of stuff that's going on today.
Yeah. So the inning just seemed as if it should be over on what has been a long afternoon for Headley.
Maybe he just wanted to introduce his equipment to home plate. Hey, this is where you guys are supposed to do stuff. So why don't you hang out here for a while, get used to your surroundings.
First pitch strike to Didi Gregorius. Into right field. Mikey Montook on the run, can't get there. Into second base goes Gregorius. Appeared for a moment that Montook might get over there and catch that ball, and he came up short.
Well, that ball just would not come down. And you're right, off the bat, you're like, okay, yeah, he hit it hard, but he's going to line right out to Montook. And this ball just keeps carrying, and eludes the Rays right fielder.
And Jim Hickey will head to the mound with another man in scoring position and 2 outs. Starlin Castro is due up. So trouble in the 5th. It's a 3-run inning already and a 2-out double. Erasmo Ramirez throwing in the Rays bullpen. Well, Castro hit a home run in the 4th inning. Had a 2-run single and a 2-run home run last night. So you're dealing with a hot hitter. First pitch foul back, strike 1. Hit one out to dead center.
Boy, so eerily similar to the pitch and the location of where it ended up from last night's slider from Chris Archer.
One and one. A ball, 2 strikes. Matt Andrews working in the 5th inning. See 75 pitches. Well, a lot has gone into what is close to a 5-inning stint. 6 runs, 8 hits, 7 strikeouts, 4 home runs. And there's a reach and a swing and a miss by Castro. Big inning for the Yankees. 3. They lead 6-3. 5 innings. Home runs a big part of this one. Starting in the second when Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge making their major league debuts. First plate appearances. Hit back-to-back home runs. First time that's ever happened in Major League Baseball. Brad Miller's 21st home run of the year, a 3-run shot in the 4th, gave the Rays a short-lived 3-2 lead. Starlin Castro tied it with his 14th home run of the year in the 4th. And in the 5th inning, a 3-run home run to right field by Aaron Hicks has given the Yankees a 3-run edge again. It's 6-3. And we go to the 6th inning. Kevin Kiermaier will lead off. Kiermaier, Longoria, and Miller due up against Tanaka. Now, the most runs Tanaka has given up this year in any one outing would be 7, and that's happened twice, once at Cleveland, and the last time it was against Cleveland here. In fact, that was his last time out. 1-0 the count on Kevin Kiermaier with the 6th inning underway. Two balls, no strikes. It's a foul ball up the right side and moves Rocco Baldelli away from the line. Two and two. Wave and a miss. Kiermaier out on strikes.
I'll tell you, when Tanaka has been able to get ahead of Rays hitters, that split today has been devastating. Now, when he's fallen behind and had to come up in the zone, they've had some good swings. But other than that, it's been chase, chase, chase.
One gone. Here's Evan Longoria. Evan takes a strike. Longoria's had a great deal of success here in the Bronx, but it has been tough for him against Tanaka. Came in 1 for 14 off him and 1 for 2 today. It's a ball and a strike. One ball, 2 strikes. Tapper foul outside of third. Yankees had the shift on. They had Castro on the shortstop side of second until the count went to 1-2, and then they moved him back to the first base side of second. 2-2.
Well, the open right side in his last at bat, and Evan Longoria took a ball and punched it out into right field. You know, you'd almost want to take Castro and move him even more towards traditional second base, because you see Evan hit it in that hole all the time.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Especially when, you know, you get him into account 1-2, 2-2. He will look to use the whole field if need be. Anything to reach base.
Pop fly right center. Closing Judge comes out of right to make that catch. So Aaron Judge, the tall end out there in right field, on the move, made that catch.
You know, the ball off the bat, and I'm saying to myself, Jacoby Ellsbury is going to make this play. And I think Jacoby Ellsbury saw the defensive end coming in from right field and said, you know what, big fella, you want it, you got it, and he peeled right out of there. Because this collision is not going to go well. You see him looking at him like, ooh, you just take it. Full head of steam at that size.
You can probably hear him approaching as well. Now Brad Miller sends one back into right. This ball's got a chance. Out of here. Home run for Brad Miller. His second home run. That will make it a 2-run game. Miller's 22nd home run of the year. He jumped on the first pitch from Tanaka. And Miller has accounted for all 4 of the runs today for the Rays.
Well, aggressive pitcher, swing mode, that ball middle in, and Brad Miller looking to get it going early. Got a good pitch to handle and drops it out there into right center field, brings the Rays a little bit closer.
Duffy takes a strike. 6th career multi-home run game for Miller.
You know, now you say to yourself, can Brad Miller get to 30?
Well, he has 2 today. 22.
He's got 8 more to go. He's got 6-7 weeks to do it.
Tap right side. Tanaka off the mound to cover, and he beats Duffy to the bag. Home run by Miller gives the Rays another run. We're headed into the bottom of the 6th. Rays down by 2, 6-4. Sun brought to you by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer, celebrating 75 summers of living 4x4ever. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. 2 home runs today by Brad Miller. A 3-run homer in the 4th, solo shot in the 6th. The Rays down by 2. And they'll send Erasmo Ramirez to the mound. 5 innings, 76 pitches for Matt Andriese, allowing 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 home runs today. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 8. Gary Sanchez, the DH, leads it off, and the first pitch skips to the backstop.
Yeah, an important innings here for Erasmo Ramirez and that Rays bullpen. This game a long way from being over. We've seen the ball flying out of the yard here today, and the Rays with just a 2-run deficit with plenty of baseball left.
Down to third. Longoria squarely there for it and makes the pickup and throw. Sanchez out number 1. Now we get down into the lower end of the order. Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge, who have, between the two of them, gone 3 for 4. Scored 3 runs and driven in 2 with solo home runs back to back in the 2nd inning. First time 2 hitters making their major league debuts. First plate appearances went back to back home runs. First time in major league history. Austin, a cut and a miss, strike 1. Base hit into right. So Austin takes it the other way. He is 2 for 3. Yankees have 9 hits.
Well, the home run went to right field. He stays inside that ball nicely and using the other way. Hands back, let that ball travel into the zone and then shoot it the other way. Getting a little glimpse of the future here for the New York Yankees.
Aaron Judge swings and misses. Judge hitting .270 with 19 home runs at the time of his call up from AAA. Pitch over but low, and it's 1-1. Outside of third, foul. Ramirez making his first appearance since Tuesday when he pitched 3 innings in relief of Drew Smyly and picked up his first major league save. Rays won that game 9-2. Smyly pitching 6 innings of 2-run baseball, and Ramirez pitched 3 perfect innings in that game, picked up a strikeout and pitched long enough to pick up the win. That's a foul ball just out of the reach of Miller. Well, the first baseman mitt this year is a little bigger than it has been. Legally could be just a little bit bigger this year, and Miller needed it to be about 3 inches bigger there to gather that little popper.
He needed the illegal, the black market version of the first base mitt. I didn't realize that they allowed a little bit more room this year. Good to know.
Help the scoop over there. It's a little popper. Foul ball, and Miller's after this one. You know, you really wonder if you had one that was just a little bit bigger, if anybody would really measure it.
I doubt it. It would have to be something that caught your eye like ridiculous. You know, like clown shoes.
Yeah.
You know,
look at that thing.
Yeah. It was like I remember a couple years ago they had the Navarro version of the glove in the stands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It'd be something like you pull a stunt like that, someone's going to measure.
Well, that's it. You don't want to flaunt it. It's a pop fly short center, and Forsythe out from second making the call. 2 gone. Two outs with a runner at first, and the catcher Austin Romine will be the hitter. Five innings, 76 pitches, 56 strikes for Matt Andriese today. Struck out 8, didn't walk anybody, 6 runs, 8 hits. Catcher Austin Romine at the plate. It's fouled right back, strike 1. Romine had struck out swinging. That was in the second. Hit a fly ball to center in the 5th. Foul bounding through the coaching box. A 1-1 count. Austin at first, 2 outs. Keeping an eye on Austin over there. Time granted now by Vic Carapazza.
Erasmo Ramirez was icing everybody on that, taking a long time. Check that. I don't think that you can ice anyone today.
If you can, you would be in high demand. 95 degrees at game time, and the feel like temperature reported as 108. Runner goes, the pitch is down, and the throw right on the button, but not in time. And Austin picks up a stolen base.
Well, when you have a transfer and a throw that good from Luke Maile, then you've got to look at the jump, because right here, ball down, up, out, throw right there, and he's able to sneak in. That means that Tyler Austin got a great jump.
He's now in scoring position with 2 outs and a full count on the New York hitter. Little foul ball. We'll do it again. Well, the Yankees celebrating their 96 World Series champion team in pregame ceremonies today. The likes of Derek Jeter here. They also had a great mention and some video of Don Zimmer during their 96 reunion celebration. It was great to see that. That'll take care of Romine, and the Yankees in the 6th. Strikeout posted. We go to the 7th. A 2-run game, 6-4 New York.
The 96 Yankee championship team was Tampa's own Wade Boggs, and here is Wade recalling a special moment in Rays history.
MLB staff had said we have holograms for the balls in case you hit a home run. I said I don't think we'll need that, but wound up hitting the home run, and then Mike Hogan, who eventually caught it, was so gracious to give the ball back. But it was such a special weekend. We had 42 plus, 43 plus at the stadium, just rocking and rolling, taking pictures and everything like that. And we need to get back to that.
Special moment for Wade, special moment for the Rays. A little more than 17 years ago. In fact, the anniversary was on Ichiro Suzuki joining the 3,000 club as a member of the Miami Marlins. And guys, not only was Wade here, you mentioned Don Zimmer as they showed the tribute to him earlier, the bench coach for Joe Torre. Lots of peoples with Rays ties. We saw Jim Messier, who was part of the original bullpen. We also talked with Tino Martinez and Dwight Gooden, who were here for part of the 96 championship team. So guys, that kind of started it all for the Yankees. They would go on to win 4 out of 5 world championships beginning in 96. Back to you.
All right, Todd Corey Dickerson leading off here in the 7th inning with the Rays down by 2. And Dickerson down 2 strikes. Had a tough day against Tanaka. Tanaka went 1-2 with him in the 2nd, got him swinging. 0-2 in the 4th, got him swinging, and now it's 1-2 in the 7th.
And it's been the split. It's been the split below the zone, out over the plate.
And he gets him swinging again.
Yeah, this one was the split, not out over the plate, but down nonetheless. And Corey Dickerson, for the 3rd straight at bat, has not been able to figure that pitch out. And Tanaka has been getting it done on that split all afternoon long. Boy, you get the 2 strikes against him today, and it is danger zone. You can see one after the other. That is the pitch that he has gone with. Doesn't matter, righties, lefties, and has obviously been very effective with it.
Well, 8 strikeouts, tying a season high for Tanaka. Floats a strike in to Mikey Matuk, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He had 8 strikeouts against Cleveland in 6 innings last time out. Here's a pop fly short left. Gregorius going out, Hicks coming in, and Hicks makes a one-handed catch.
Yeah, Didi Gregorius, his route to that ball, you felt like there's no way he's going to get to it. An odd angle, he was drifting, hand, glove up above the eyes. You sit, watch Gregorius, and you're like, this is trouble. Yeah, he starts looking back there for help, and here comes Hicks to save the day.
Here's Nick Franklin. Franklin sends one into left center field. Ellsbury on the run, so is Hicks, and it's Hicks again who makes the catch. And the Rays are up and down 1-2-3. Middle of the 7th, 6-4 New York. A 2-run ball game. Home runs a big part of this game today. Yankees have hit 4, the Rays have hit 2. Brad Miller, both the home runs for the Rays. Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge making their debuts at the major league level, and in their very first at bat went back-to-back home runs in the 2nd inning for the first time in major league history. Brad Miller for the first time this year, a multi-home run game. 3-run homer in the 4th and a solo shot in the 6th, giving Brad 22 home runs. We're talking between innings. He's got to refocus now and think maybe 30.
You know what? There's no reason to think that he can. I mean, it's basically a home run a week for the rest of the season, which he's more than capable of that. And this is a big reason why. The ability to go the other way for home runs. We've seen a number of home runs by Brad Miller to left field, left center. When you're able to get the ball out of the ballpark, you know, basically foul pole to foul pole, you put yourself in great position to be able to get some big numbers. And I think that that is well within his striking distance. And you start to envision, okay, you got a corner infielder, first baseman that can hit you 30 home runs. I don't know. Sounds pretty good.
Well, the Rays, with a couple shots left, are going to have to hold the Yankees. Top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 7th. Ellsbury, Hicks, and Headley due up. Bouncer down to Forsythe on the right side at second base. 1 pitch, 1 out.
I like watching. I like watching Logan Forsythe field ground balls. Yeah, between Forsythe fielding ground balls and Longoria down at third, their hands, their foot, the way they position themselves with their feet and their hands out in front, watching that ball right into the glove. I mean,
they do it the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's.
Yeah, and it's a great thing. There's a strike. Rays are going to be home here for a lengthy homestand when they complete this series. And, you got a youngster who wants to see how to field ground balls. Come to the ballpark and watch those two guys.
Yeah. Get there early. Well, I don't know if the gates are open that early. Yeah, just come at game time and watch them do it in real time.
Yeah.
When it counts.
One ball, two strikes. Shot down the left side. That ball out of play. And beyond the corner, up into the stands. Rays will wrap up this series and the road trip tomorrow. Rays Live coming your way. The pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. It all begins at 12:30. The Yankees will be honoring Mariano Rivera, and we'll hear from Jake Odorizzi, who will be on the hill for the Rays. Into center field. Kiermaier right there for it. And Hicks out for the second out of the inning. Chase Headley. What a tough day for Headley. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. 8 of those belong to Andres and 1 to Erasmo Ramirez. Low and inside, 1-0. Two balls, no strikes. Andres worked 5 innings, gave up 6 runs, 8 hits. Struck out 8, didn't walk anybody. 4 home runs struck off Matt Andres today. And now Ramirez with 2 outs in the 7th inning behind Headley, 3-0. That's in there for a strike. So Headley is aboard, drawing the first walk issued in this game today. A 2-out pass in the 7th.
Yeah, not real surprising. I mean, there certainly have been some runs put up on the board, but you've had 2 pitchers in Andres and Tanaka who have really attacked the strike zone early and often. And up until obviously that hitter right there, Erasmo Ramirez had done the same.
Now ball 1 here on Gregorius after the walk to Headley and the first pitch miss. Bailey goes out to spend some time with Erasmo. Shot to right, Back goes Montook, and that one is out of here. Well, after the walk and the miss on the first pitch to Gregorius, Ramirez serves up the home run pitch. It's 8-4.
I tell you, the ball is jumping out of this building here today. Any mistake up in the zone, you cringe because of all the home runs that have been hit. That one off the bat of Gregorius didn't sound like loud contact. That ball middle of the plate just above the knees, but he got extension, got some lift and carry. Gets it out of here. Another home run for the Yankees, and they extend that lead further.
Home run number 15 for Gregorius. Starlin Castro. That's a first pitch strike. Strike two. Well, 5 home runs today hit by New York. Matches their single season high this year. Their most home runs in a game, 5 for the season. There's a base hit the other way off an 0-2 pitch. Castro has his second hit. He's 2 for 4.
Well, he's been swinging the bat. One of these Yankee hitters having a good series here so far. 0-2. Good approach. You hit the ball the other way. This inning just will not end.
Well, they got the first 2 outs after a scoreless 6th. Then the walk and the 1-0 pitch Gregorius hit out. He got ahead of Castro, 2 strikes, giving up the base hit. And the DH is Gary Sanchez. A ball, no strikes. One and one. Three ground ball outs from Sanchez. He spread it around the infield. Chopped to second in the second. Out short to first in the fourth. Third to first in the 6th inning. And Ramirez is ahead of him. A ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez ahead. Sanchez waiting. Two and two.
But This looked like it was going to be a pretty quick inning here for Erasmo Ramirez. And then the walk to Headley, Gregorius, Castro with an 0-2 hit. It's going to force Kevin Cash to get Danny Farquhar up as this pitch count mounts.
There's a high popper. It's going to be Longoria taking care of that one to retire the side. Gregorius hits a 2-run home run. We're through 7, 8-4 New York. And it is on to the 8th we go. Luke Maile will lead off, then back around to the top side. Logan Forsythe and Kevin Kiermaier. They'll face Tyler Clippard. 7 innings for Tanaka. 4 runs. And now he gives way to Clippard. Pitch is upstairs. How about this for Tanaka today? 79 pitches, 68 for strikes. Is that right?
That can't be right.
That's unbelievable.
That's only 9 balls.
2-0. $58. How about 58?
That's still ridiculous.
I'd
still fewer than 20 balls in 7 innings. You're talking, you know, 2.5 balls an inning.
And he started that way. In the first, he made 8 pitches, and just one of those out of the strike zone.
How about just 79 pitches in 7 innings?
I know, that's pretty remarkable in and of itself. Had only one 3-ball count in this outing.
Well, both, you know, Matt Andriese and Masahiro Tanaka put these opposing hitters on alert. Hey, I'm coming into the zone. I'm attacking the zone. If you want to sit back and be patient, that's fine. You're going to be 0-2. And so you started to see early swings, early contact.
It's a pop up Bromine in foul ground, shades his eyes for a moment and makes the catch. So 1 out in the 8th inning. Don't miss the perfect concert for the whole family when Kids Bop Kids perform after the Rays take on the Rangers Sunday the 21st of August. Tropicana Field will be the life of the party as kids 14 and under get a Raymond and DJ Kitty double bobblehead presented by Suncoast Credit Union. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Here's Logan Forsythe, top of the order. Strike one. The only full count Tanaka had came in the 6th inning. He went 3-2 to Evan Longoria. That was it. So 79 pitches, 58 strikes, 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts, and a couple home runs, both hit by Brad Miller. All of that before a crowd of 41,682. The 8 strikeouts tying a season's high. Two and one. See Matt Andriese, 5 innings, didn't walk anybody, 8 strikeouts. Tanaka, 7 innings, didn't walk anybody. (3-1). The only base on balls given up by Ramirez. That was with 2 outs to Headley in front of the Gregorius home run. Full count to Forsythe. Skied into right. Judge back a few steps and takes care of that. You know, that ball was only a couple steps from the warning track, and in most parks you would think that would be maybe 20 feet beyond the infield the way it was struck.
That's remarkable. That's exactly what I was thinking. You know, kind of got it, you know, jammed himself almost, hits a fly ball to right, and I'm watching Judge just kind of drift, and I'm like, that's what we're talking about. The ball is flying here today. That ball should have been nowhere near the warning track.
Kevin Kiermaier looks at a strike. Kevin has a bunt single in the 4th. You know, we're talking about his bunting game. It always amazed me that, and I don't know that anybody's going to get 1 bunt hit a week all year, but they talk about that. If you added 1 bunt hit a week, it could make such a swing roughly from 250 to 300 in your batting average. If you just added 1 more hit a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be such a huge part of, you know, Kevin's game. And what you want more than anything with this guy, get on base. Pitchers have to worry about you. Catchers have to deal with you. Always the threat to take extra bases on just routine hits. There's just so many ways he can affect the game with his speed.
And the toss to first. So the Rays are out 1-2-3. Bottom of the 8th coming. Rays down 8-4. Today's Geico great moment on this day in 2000. It was John Flaherty belting a 3-run walk-off homer off Chicago right-hander Bobby Howry, giving the Rays a 5-3 win over the White Sox. Home run comes on the 12th pitch of that at bat, extended by John Flaherty, one of the original Tampa Bay Devil Rays, with the Rays from the beginning through 02, and now a member of the broadcast team for the Yankees. Played with the Yankees from 03, 4, and 5. And Danny Farquhar becomes the new pitcher for the Rays, following Andres and Ramirez.
Well, Danny on for the 15th time. 15 strikeouts, 14 in the third inning, and he will be dealing here with the bottom of the Yankees order. However, they've been productive today when you think about Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge.
First time ever, rookies making history here. First time ever in Major League history. Two players have had back-to-back home runs, each in their first career plate appearance, and that came in the second inning of this game. Farquhar's pitch, and Tyler Austin takes it too low. Austin, Judge, and then Romine due up. One and one. Austin hit his down the right field line. Just about right over the 314 marker. And Aaron Judge deep right back into center. Two and one to count on Austin. A big cut on that pitch. Pitch up and in a bit. 2-2. Two runs off Ramirez, 6 off Andres. Farquhar worked an inning and 2/3 Wednesday in Toronto. Look out, a foul ball right back off the mask of Luke Maile.
Direct hit. Knocked him right back in the hands of Vic Carapazza, and obviously he's going to get a visit from Paul Harker and Kevin Cash.
Well, all managers and training staff members, as we take a listen to that, are all very aware of any potential concussions coming from something like that. They're very careful in how they handle their catchers these days. It's a swing and a miss, taking care of Austin. One away, bases empty. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd, bold, unique, and outspoken. And you can see him on the Herd every weekday at noon Eastern, only on FS1. Aaron Judge takes the pitch low, 1-0. That's a strike, 1-1. 2-1, skied up the right side. Matuk will run out of room. It's out of play. Scramble for the souvenir on. Two here on Judge. Judge being checked over now. Girardi out there with Steve Donahue taking a quick look. Judge was in spring training with the Yankees this year. Yeah, we didn't quite see anything. There's a strike call. So he is out looking. 2 strikeouts for Farquhar.
Speaking of not seeing anything.
Yeah, there you are.
I don't think he saw that pitch either.
He was a non-roster invitee in spring training, went 1 for 19 with the Yankees in the spring, and guess what that hit was? A home run. And his first hit in the big leagues, a home run, along with Tyler Austin today. Here's Austin Romine fouling it right back. A ball and a strike. One and two. Two and two. Check swing, look out. Just adjacent to the dugout there, moving the cameraman out of his position. So the count's still 2-2 on Austin Romine. Braves in the top of the ninth will have Evan Longoria, Brad Miller, and Matt Duffy coming up. Romine continues to battle with that 2-2 count, fouling another pitch out of play. And a cut and a miss. Romine out on strikes. Farquhar strikes out the side. On to the ninth we go. Sports Sun brought to you by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer, celebrating 75 summers of living 4x forever. By Lazy Days RV, your RV authority. When you're thinking of going on the road, get on the road to Lazy Days RV. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers.
We're doing it.
RV.
We're doing it. Yeah.
We love Lazy Days RV.
Yeah, and we need to talk to Lazy Days RV and maybe get something where we can take the crew, me, you, Todd, the boys in the truck.
Yep.
A camera to document, and we RV from one city to another. Maybe an off day in between, and we take off and we do an RV between cities and we document the trip.
That'd be great.
It would be unbelievable.
Fun.
It would be. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We may not show up in that next city.
Yeah, that's what they're afraid of. They'll have to track us down somewhere.
GPS. They can chip the RV.
Here's Evan Longoria leading off. It's a little chopper right side, a backhand attempt by Austin, and picked up by the second baseman. Castro. His throw to Swarzak covering first, and they do not get him, but a great attempt nevertheless after that ball skipped off the mitt of Austin.
We're just chopping that ball the other way, and Joe Girardi wasting no time coming out here to get Swarzak. That ball taking a wild bounce, but look at Gregorius. Was that Castro? I can't tell on my monitor. Anyway, somebody closed.
And here comes Girardi to make a pitching change already. Miller, a couple of home runs today, and going over to first base, but also another change into the number 4 spot. And how about these numbers hitting cleanup?
Taking it seriously. And boy, a couple of them today. Impressive. Taking a ball that's middle away out to left field. That would give the Rays actually a 3-2 lead. And then how about this one? Come in, you don't get it all the way in there, and he'll take you out to right center field. A big day by Brad Miller.
Tommy Lane, the new pitcher, a little chop out to the right side. Out at second, back at first, safe there. Longoria forced on the first pitch from Lane. And the chop, Castro got it over to Gregorius. So they get the out at second.
The fact that he had to range to his left and then spin and throw, everything taking, didn't take a lot of time. It took too much to get Brad Miller, who was hustling up the line. He's got a chance. These two have a chance to be really good here in the middle infield for the Yankees, Gregorius and Castro.
Now here's Matt Duffy. The pitch is a strike. Swarzak made one pitch, charged with a base hit. And now Tommy Lane, the veteran lefty, he's been with the Red Sox, making his third appearance for the Yankees. So they've had Tanaka out there for 7 innings, 79 pitches, 58 for strikes. Tyler Clippard for an inning, Swarzak for a pitch, and now Lane. One and two. Duffy had a base hit in the 4th inning. He was 1 for 4 in his Rays debut last night. And Lane keeps an eye on Miller. Stays away. 2-2. Duffy at shortstop for the Rays today and yesterday, and that's the plan for him to play shortstop, making his first appearance at shortstop since May of last year. Played primarily third base for San Francisco. Almost all of his time, with just a handful of games in the minor leagues, came at shortstop. And a wave and a miss. He's out on strikes. 9th strikeout for New York pitching, and 2 outs here in the 9th. Dickerson is due up. The pinch hitter presented by Pinch-A-Penny will be Steven Souza Jr. batting against the left-hander Lane. First pitch drops in there for a strike. Breaking ball.
Yeah, we've seen the breaking ball, the changeup, the fastball. We've seen Lane change arm angles, anything that he can do to try to gain an edge, record an out.
Look out, up and in. He left his bat and his helmet at the plate to get out of the way of that one.
Yeah, that's scary when it gets up there. Everything that Lane's been throwing has been middle of the plate away. Souza Jr. taking stock in that, and he comes way up and in. That is, talk about peeling the guy right off a plate. Look at him starting to dive a little bit and then get spun.
And a tap to short. Gregorius goes to first. And that ends this one for the Rays in the 9th. No runs, a hit, and a man left on base. So the Rays drop this one 8-4. 8-11-0, 4 left for New York. 4-6-0, 2 left for the Rays. 2 hours and 40 minutes to play it. Tanaka the winner 9-4. Andres the loser 6-4. And these same two teams will play tomorrow. We'll be with you at 12:30. Rays and the Yankees right here on Fox Sports Sun. For Brian Anderson, Todd Callis, and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast, but not the outcome. Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers, comes your way next.